nachos, amigos, and welcome to Record Breakers, a podcast where a group of friends gather together to share music with each other, an album at a time, and like a little book club for music. We all discover music, we all share music. It's fun, a fun time had by all. I'm Petey Rave, and I've got a pretty tremendo culo myself, but I'm working on it. Started DDP yoga. Gonna get slimmed down a bit. Here with me is my crew, my team, my squad. We've got David.
Make your way into the 3 dozen domiciles.
Mm-hmm. Yes. We've got Drew.
I'm trying to figure out if I should buy the set of Golden Girls Funko Pops from my mother.
It works. And of course, we have a new set of episodes, so that means a new guest. We wrangled somebody else from our family at various communities, but prominently over at DKGFam.
Glad to have you here, Nikon. It's great.
Yes, yes, Lord Nikon himself, otherwise now known by his new pseudonym, Pandahacker. How you doing, Panda?
Also known as Mr. Slightly Less Than Worldwide.
Yes. Mr.
Like
well, not Mr. 305, more like Mr. 33. I'm Mr. 33165. So it was like, I've got this zip code.
I actually had something in my notes about that. I had something in my notes about that. I wanted to ask you, Petey, since our music selection is Mr. Worldwide, spoilers, I had said, are you Mr. 305 now, Petey?
I'm like I said, I'm not quite Mr. 305. I'm pretty much Mr. 32165. Like, I have this zip code. I've got Westchester. I've got Westchester.
Take it.
I'm 305 light.
Yes. You've got closer to downtown. You're closer to the center of the city. Of course. We're talking about an album. We're talking about music. I'm bringing the album. I decided, like I said last week, to just say fuck it. And also curse in the first 10 minutes to get our stuff restricted. Because fuck it. Fuck
I
algorithms.
have not stopped smiling since we started recording, Petey. I'm so excited.
We're going to be talking about an album. We're going to talk about one of the most prominent people to come out of South Florida, Miami in particular. One of the most Miami bros of Miami bros. The one, the only, Armando Cristian Perez, also known as Pitbull. I keep forgetting to have him back here. Just right here. Say hello, Pitbull.
Mr. Worldwide himself.
We're talking about, and specifically the album we're going to be talking about is M.I.A.M.I, which stands for Money is a Major Issue.
Dale.
Yes. We're going to be talking about this album. It's a very interesting album, but let's talk about expectations. I'm sure you guys had some. I'll go with Drew first. Drew, what were your expectations coming into this album?
Well, I realized this is from that era in hip hop where everybody was making a lot of booty shaking songs. I knew Lil Jon was going to be on a lot of this, so I kind of had an idea that there was probably going to be a lot of club bangers and booty shaking. I didn't know when or where they were going to tell me to take multiple articles of clothing off, but I figured that might happen at some point. Didn't know if
Probably
Petey Pop was going to go on and raise up. Yes, I expected maybe a Cuban rhythm here or there, knowing the time, place, and person that this was put out by. But other than that, I was pretty pumped to just shut everything down and just dance along.
Yes. I'll jump over to Panda. Panda, what were your expectations coming into this?
So, I love Pitbull. I've never dove into his older stuff. I know the clean, polished suit, sunglasses Pitbull.
Corporate Pitbull.
So,
you know,
yeah, I know corporate
Mr.
Pitbull.
Worldwide.
So I was
this one.
very interested in what this album was going to have for me.
Yes. This Pitbull rather than that Pitbull, which I'm pointing at the center of this album art. David, as you've shown your excitement, what were your expectations coming into this album?
Oh man, on the last exciting episode of the Record Breakers podcast, when Petey Rave announced this album, my reaction was really on par with the Chris Pratt gif that everyone knows, where he was looking directly into the camera, just fully engorged with excitement and hype over something.
A fellow Miamian, known by the name of Armando Cristian Perez, where he's going to teach you that money is a major issue. That's right. We're talking about Pitbull and his debut album, M.I.A.M.I.
Somebody's happy.
I did not even try to contain how excited I am for this. For some of you out there, this particular time period and era of music, I hear a lot of people out there talk about another genre of music, pop punk, where they look at it with a certain level of nostalgia, but also kind of cringy. For this particular era of hip hop, the crunk era with Lil Jon being the center of the universe, this is my pop punk. I am so excited to talk about this album. I looked through the album credits. Like, one, I think Pitbull is fantastic. Two, I looked through the album credits and saw that Lil Jon was all over this, and I could not even contain how excited I was. Just like, yes. Give me this.
Yes. This is definitely, like Drew said, this is definitely from a time where everybody's putting out booty shaking bangers in prominent places in hip hop, and it's probably why Lil Jon decided to take Pitbull under his wings when he signed him to TBT, when he signed to TBT. But I will say that if you look at and you realize that where he came from, who he was mentored by, you know that Pitbull was always destined to make the bangers, no matter if they were prominent or not. Because Pitbull, especially on this album, especially this early, is what you get when you take a Cuban kid that was born and raised in Miami, grew up on Miami bass, Miami freestyle, 2 Live Crew, mentored by Uncle Luke himself, and then you put him under the wing of Lil Jon to kind of construct an album, and you get this. This is definitely hip hop of the 2000s, but it's very much peppered in with reggaeton, with Miami freestyle, Miami bass influences. It's very much of the like continuation of the pedigrees of, like I said, the 2 Live Crews of the world, and many other like Miami people. This is, you take some of that like 2 Live Crew, you take some of that like the legacy of guys like Trick Daddy and Slipside Records, like
God,
that.
There's the name.
Yeah. Tricky Love the Kids. And you see
that
those
would mean
names.
something way different in today's day and age. I don't know.
Oh,
hey,
man.
he's a community man, and he reaches out to the youth. He lifts people up. But yeah, he is this album in particular, it shows all of those elements in such a really fun way. This has so many fun like bangers, so many fun silly songs. I love Pitbull for his like, he creates fun songs. A$AP Rocky is not. Mega Ran, he is not. He's not. He's not your rappity rap lyricist. He makes club music, and that's okay. That's okay.
It's great.
This is just fun music. It's very bombastic. It's very sexual. We've talked about before how the difference between baby making music and love making music. This is fucking music.
This is music.
Yes.
Fuck.
This is fucking music. There's references
There's
to
no love in this.
Yeah, there's references pulling aside thongs. Like there's sexual stuff, and that's the legacy of the 2 Live Crew, the Nasty As You Want to Be, kind of like bringing that and like and being unapologetic about it, and that kind of can be it's a little cringy, and maybe, but kind of in a really fun way.
In 2019, it's cringy. But in 2004, it's fucking great.
I don't like part of it's not cringy just because the man's talking about eating ass before eating ass was popular.
Yes. Give him credit for that.
I was 20 years old in the military in the South when this album came out.
Yes.
Oh, that would be the place for it. Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
It was.
Let's go rock. Let's get to you guys. What you thought? Drew, how would you describe this album musically? What would be the themes and elements that stand out?
Thinking maybe you would have went to Deej so I could think of a military base getting hyphy real quick, but no. So what I know is what Panda knows, which is clean cut Pitbull, like dance tracks, Mr. Worldwide, tuxes and whatnot. Like that's sort of what I knew. This is more rap than I expected out of Pitbull. Usually I guess I expect more Spanish that I can't understand. From what I know of Radio Pitbull. But this is mid-aughts hip hop. This is club bangers about, as we say, eating ass. This is the shit that Gabrielle Union puts on when her hubby gets home. This is some stuff. There was more than one bachelor party in your county, Petey. I guarantee you that was putting this shit on constantly.
Last week.
He might have been there. He might have been there.
Last week.
I need to point. Look at this dude. This dude looks like every bro dude that I went to high school with in 2007. Like,
Roll
like camo hat and like flag, all the whole nine. This is a party vibe for sure. And I put the same thing. Look, you're not going to hear this dude complaining about real hip hop. This is not. If you in the backpack, this ain't for you. But damn it, it's dumb in all the best ways. It's a party time. Like that's just what it is. Word choice is forgettable. Flow is bland and uninspired. Like the tone of the rapping is like just milquetoast in a way that reminded me of 50 Cent at times, where he was just getting words out because they were there to be said.
Again, that's that 2 Live Crew legacy. Bland flow.
Yeah. Just say the words, make sure they're in a beat, and make sure the last one rhymes with the last one in the next line. Like, that's it. That's all you got to do. Like, just get them out.
He rhymes monster with monster repeatedly.
The parts that are like, and I'll get into this too, there was a track or two that was like, hey, you got to have the song in there that sounds like it's going to be a love song, but then when you get like halfway through the first verse, oh yeah, it's still about fucking. You got to have the song that's like, you got to have a couple of songs that are like, okay, this is going to mix in weird elements from whatever area I'm from, whether it be the Crunk South or whether it be like Florida Cuban sounds, which is what Pitbull was doing, or whether you were like trying to like harken back to G-Funk stuff. If you're from the West Coast, you had to have something like that. And there are parts that do that. And I think the sort of Cuban sounding parts were really, really cool. And we'll get into those, but you put it on because you want to think about a good time. You don't want to be thinking about a long time.
Yeah. This is, like I said, this gets played, tracks on these get played at a bachelor party or at a club, like right now. We'll talk about those kind of things in a moment. Panda, how would you describe this album musically?
It's funny you mentioned club. When this album came out, I was in middle school, and I remember middle school fucking when some of these songs would drop, preteens smashing against each other. You had security guards diving in, trying to pull people apart, but they couldn't because the music was just banging at the moment.
Yes.
That's nice.
Like that is like what this album is.
Like, that was like your version of my middle school years. Was like the original Miami booty music. like yeah. But as you were saying,
I mean, other than that, like I like the album. I think some of the production was really well done. I can see a lot of different styles and people who influenced Pitbull in this album. It reminds me a lot of early Logic, where he was going through a bunch of different rappers that he would sound like, but he didn't have his own style just yet. And like, because I see influences of like Ludacris in actually a lot of the songs.
Yeah.
Oh man, Ludacris. That's when is Brett coming back? We need to
another that did quite a few tracks with Mr. Jonathan Smith.
Yes, a lot of Ludacris, a little bit of Uncle Luke, a little bit of this and that. Yeah, you see a lot of those influences. David, how would you describe this album musically?
I would describe this as a fantastically entertaining mix of crunk and Latin. And on paper, that does sound like it would work to me. And after listening to this album, I can say it really, really did. Is Pitbull Kendrick Lamar? No, he's not. And he'll probably be the first one to tell you that. But he doesn't have to be. And Lil Jon killed this album as a producer. As far as beats go and vibe go, this melds into something, a complete package that is just so damn enjoyable from start to finish. Is it a little misogynistic? Yeah, but it was the mid-2000s. That's just what hip-hop was. That's just what it was. It was a different time, everybody. I was 20. Get off my ass.
Jeff, so he can get on yours.
Karen.
No, my mother's name is Karen, so not Karen.
Heather. Yes. This is, I would say, if we want to kind of like sum it up. I have a note here, and it's a great sentence. Filthy, perverse, macho club bangers. Which is kind of the best way to put it. And we get into some of the tracks. But in the
best way possible. The best way possible.
You've talked about some of the tracks. Of course, it starts off with 305 Anthem, because you got to set the mood right off the bat. This is
what a fantastic track. Oh my God, this track was good.
He's from the 305. He is Cuban. As you can see, like the album cover kind of all sums it up. Again, this is from the era where you had to like fit as much. You have to have the most album cover.
This was post No Limit Records, where the album covers were just utterly insane, but not quite completely out of that era.
You gotta have the Cuban flag right up there. If you're one, easy to like identify. It's the one with the red triangle. Puerto Rican's the one with the blue triangle. You gotta have Miami. You gotta have the 305 in the hat with the amazing like whisper thin goatee. This is just that era and time encapsulated in one picture. And then 305 Anthem kind of like encapsulates that right off the bat. Then you get into Culo. Like this is right off the bat with the banger.
There's so much on this album.
This is
good.
This is the volume knob banger. This is the song the DJ plays with his hand on the volume knob, specifically so you go, esa jevita está enterita, tiene tremendo. You turn down the volume, and everybody goes culo. And then that's just how it is.
You could be as white as me, and you still going culo in the crowd.
Yeah, like
you could be at the bathroom across the street, and you will hear culo.
Like it's like it's an instinct. If you're from Miami, it's an instinct. Especially if you grew up with all this. And then that carries into the other kind of major hit, which is Toma. Like that is another, that and Culo are two songs that are still played at parties and clubs to this day in Miami or in other places as well, but especially here. Like, you can't lose with, like, if you're constructing a playlist for the party, you throw those on there. Those are softballs. Like, those are just like, it's just easy. It's like that's it. Yeah, it's like you try to. That's how you win them over. I would say another track, Get On. There's a lot of like Miami freestyle moments here. I would say Get On the Floor is, I think, where it really kind of, it's one of the ones where I really kind of, you can really hear it, the Miami freestyle influence, you know, the Stevie B's and all that era of like stuff like that in that song. And it's really cool to kind of listen to that. And then I also want to give out a shout out to Damn It Man, specifically. Damn It Man. I'm sure I say it a lot. I like to say it in person. I don't know if I've said it on the show. Damn It Man has one of my favorite dumb rap lyrics of all time. And it is specifically, when I hit him from the back, I got their mommy saying, damn it, man. When I put it in their mouth, I got their mommy saying, roo. Which is, even Pitbull knows it's an amazing lyric because he repeats it. He's like, da-da, and then like, all right, bring it back. Let's say it again. And like, I came up with an amazing lyric. Let me say it again. I hope to one day live as self-satisfied as Pitbull is right after he says a really clever lyric. Like, which is, you can hear it in the studio with his chuckle. Like, I hope to one day live that self-satisfied. But yeah, Drew, let me turn to you. What would be some of the key tracks for you?
Well, look, Kulo is something that I feel is out of, like, just the perfect thing. I don't know if they use it in Fast and the Furious, but like that feels to me like straight out of one of those early Fast and the Furiouses. Because it is a party track that would be blasting out of somebody's car somewhere in some parking lot with people just dancing, girls shaking their ass, dudes trying to get laid and not being able to. Like, that is the entire mood. I wonder, like I said, there has to be one. There always has to be one that's like a slow jam that like sounds kind of loving at first, and then you realize, oh no, wait, he's just still talking about banging random women. Okay, that's cool. And I wonder, is it, if you think I'm wrong on this, Ja Rule made an entire career out of this shit.
How much did he do with Lil Jon? How much did he do? I don't know. He had to do some tracks with Lil Jon.
Not enough, because Ja Rule wasn't nearly as good as literally anybody else coming out at that time. And then Melting Pot. Something about the piano on this made me think G-Funk, which I am not opposed to ever in my hip-hop. Just putting that out there. If anybody
and
can
then
make
plot twist, it's DJ Khaled.
Yes.
No, wait,
DJ Khaled. Yeah.
Is he somehow on this?
Yeah. I mean, he remember he built his career in the 90s
of making
beats, and he was on 99 Jams for like years as a DJ in Miami.
Oh my God. That makes so much sense now. Damn it.
Then he
wasn't paying attention. I was here the whole time.
Yes.
DJ Khaled, I was here the whole time.
Look, I'm sorry. Blessed. For real.
This is double terror.
I forget his son's
prominence.
name. That's all he's been talking about recently on his Snapchat. His goddamn son. But no, that was like, okay, I get it. Like, and I was there for it, and I was down with it.
Yes. It's such great tracks. Panda, what would be some of the key tracks for you?
Like you already said, there's gonna be a lot of crossover because Gulo and Toma are like the defining tracks of like my childhood. But the other key tracks that stood out a lot to me was Hustler's Withdrawal. because there was something there, like in the synth, that I really liked. The production on that was a lot better, I feel, than some of the other tracks. And yeah, other than that, 305 Anthem was another one because it set the tone for the entire album.
Yeah, the anthem, the 305. You got big ups. David, what would be some of the key tracks for you?
Literally all of them. I'm dead serious. I had so much fun with this. Hustler's Withdrawal, out of the tracks that have already been mentioned. That's Nasty, with a feature from Fat Joe and
Joey
Dirty,
Crack,
with a feature from Bun B, H-Town.
Yeah,
that really caught me off guard. But yeah, Melting Pot, Kulo, Hustler's Withdrawal, Hurry Up and Wait, literally every track. I ended up just today putting this back on just for the fun of it, just because I had so much fucking fun.
Yeah. This is just a fun anthem. It takes me back. This is a nostalgic moment for me. Just to kind of like throw it back. I still
and just hearing Lil Jon like at his peak again just made me so happy.
Yes, it's just hilarious. Who knows? I might bring M.I.A.M.I. That's an interesting follow up.
We keep this up. I might bring Crunk Juice.
Let me find an E40 album. God damn it.
All right. Let's talk about some conclusive thoughts. Let's bring it back around the horn. Drew, what would be your conclusion on this album as a whole?
I don't know if I've made it clear enough, but this is not a record that I think is going to set the world on fire. This doesn't have a huge amount to say. In between this record, I was also re-listening to another rapper by the name of Killer Mike.
This is the contrast.
There's a contrast there.
Specifically because I needed that contrast. I needed somebody to remind me, like, hey, rap can also say something.
Needed a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
And mine is apparently very political. Like, it's just I'm gonna throw this up real quick. And my camera's backwards, so it's gonna be this. Wait, there we go. And just let everybody know. This isn't Killer Mike. This isn't Kid Cudi. This isn't. You're not wearing a backpack full of spray paint and like saying some things. You're fucking going out with your dudes. This is, you throw like something like Kulo on during a wedding, and you watch drunk bridesmaids get down. Like that's just what this album is.
And you try and get a phone number. And you try and get a phone.
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta get more than that phone number. You take them to the bathroom.
And then you
depending on where you are. Right. Like, and I don't think we're gonna sit around here and like extol the virtues of how deep this music is. Notice I did not say the word composition one time during this album. Because it's not about that. And I think for what
Lil Jon has some great beats on it.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying the beats aren't well made, but the beats aren't trying to make you think. And I think that's for what Pitbull set out to do. He did it. Sorry, he left the 305 and went worldwide. But it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Panda, what would be your conclusion on this album as a whole?
Album was made for a few reasons and a few reasons only, and that is for late nights at the club, doing lines off of whatever, smashing genitalia together, and just not thinking at all, and just
speeding down Biscayne Boulevard.
Yeah, exactly. Just like high off your mind, 90 down like a school zone. You know, just stop thinking and start feeling is what this music is.
Early to mid 2000s were fun, everybody. It really was fun.
Yeah, getting drunk out in freaking downtown Miami, and just like or down by Coco Walk. It's just like fucking shit up,
Blacking out at 12 a.m., coming to at 3 a.m., and then calling an Uber home.
Exactly.
But enough about conventions.
Yes. Which is why we can appreciate. This album is a fun album of it's Miami as fuck. It is club banger as fuck. It is a fun album of fun songs, and that's okay. You can have fun sometimes. It's okay to have fun sometimes.
Have some fun. God damn it. Have some fun.
Like I said, this is speeding down the Rickenbacker, pissing off rich people by blaring music along like Star Island or some shit, or driving down the MacArthur, just like causing a ruckus. Like this is that music, and I'm here for it. It is just a fun nostalgic trip to a Miami classic. But let's get down to the haikus, everyone.
I didn't get my thoughts. We just tired of me talking.
David, what were your conclusion on this album as a whole?
The mix of Latin and crunk sounds really, really hit me in just like the right spot for this entire album, and I enjoyed the fuck out of it. Is it deep? No. Is it profound? No. The tracks are all well produced and well done. Lil Jon was really in his form at the time, and Pitbull on this album showed some presence and some confidence that I don't think people give him enough credit for. He showed that he actually can put words together and rhyme when he wants to, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And he wore that confidence and pride of being Mr. 305 like a world heavyweight champion holding his gold. And I wouldn't dare not tell anyone to listen to this album because it was fun as hell.
Yeah, it's not for everyone, but I think people should give it a shot.
Who is this not for? Who would this not be for, Petey?
Racist.
Yes, there you go.
Fair.
Yes. People just can't handle listening to people speak Spanish, and
oddly enough, neither is Killer Mike. Yeah. Killer Mike also not for racists.
Exactly, and that's what we're bringing things together. It all brings all of these things together.
Back in the club.
Yes. Now we get to our haikus. We get to the main event of the evening, the moment we've all been waiting for, our haiku reviews. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Haiku numero uno. As I keep ripping off the Scott Rogalski because I can't help it. Drew, what is your haiku?
Showing Miami, but he eventually took it worldwide.
Yeah. Panda.
Please have me go last. Please have me go last.
Yeah. David, what is your haiku?
Lil Jon killed the tracks. That's Kilt, by the way. Lil Jon killed the tracks. Pitbull shows flow and presence. 305 stays live.
Panda, what do you got?
Oh my god, I got nothing. Okay, so okay. Big booty bangers.
It's fine.
Okay.
Goes off in the club anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide.
Yes. My haiku. Mr. 305, just before he went worldwide, bringing club bangers. There you go. And those are our haikus. Those are our thoughts on Pitbull's M.I.A.M.I. Money is a major issue. Money is still a major issue. Not just the remix album, but also a fact as of right now. Money stays being a major issue.
Cash runs everything around us.
Exactly. You can, of course, check this album on our Spotify. Check it out on our Spotify playlist. Play Record Breakers, the home game. Do your due diligence and your dude diligence. On that Spotify playlist will be next week's record, and it will be provided by David. David, what do you have for us next week?
On the next exciting episode of the Record Breakers podcast, I will be bringing an album from the world of the genre of future funk. I've been dabbling into the world of vaporwave recently, and I stumbled upon an album that I really, really enjoyed by an artist by the name of Lola Disco, and the album is from 2018, and it is called Time Machine, on the next exciting episode of the Record Breakers podcast.
Yes. So look forward to that next week, but that is next week, and this is this week, and you can, of course, find us all over the internet. David is at Call Me DJM. Drew is at XDruciferX. Panda is at Panda_actual. I'm at PD Rave. The show is at 4 Record Breakers. That's the number 4 Record Breakers. RecordBreakersPodcast.com. RecordBreakersPodcast.gmail.com. Rebelli.net for listening to other shows. Rebelli TV on YouTube. And other places. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
Give us the 5 stars.
Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher, all over the place. Like, share, subscribe, do all things. Until next time, hasta los huevos.
Who's going to say it?
Toodaloo.
Ale.
Dale.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.